What's up everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood DoolieRay, and today I'm going to be trying to do something that I've had on my mind for a pretty long time, at least like 3 months or something. I'm sorry it's taken so long, it's just I haven't been sure how to approach this, and I'm sick of waiting, so I'm just gonna get it over with now. So actually, if you could leave a comment below, let me know what you think of this when the video is over. If you watch the whole thing through, I appreciate it, and any feedback that you have, I will happily take because I want this to be a super fun video, a super good time. So thank you in advance for your help, and let me explain what exactly it is I'm doing here. If you've been following this channel for a while, I think it was last year I made a few videos where I tried to go through different characters, explain how to use them, their abilities, and to be honest, it was a lot of work. It didn't feel very good, and it wasn't fun. It was boring to watch, even for me. So my hope here is that I'm doing something entertaining because I want to be helpful to the community. I feel like I only do crystal openings and live streams, which is fun for, you know, the people who enjoy that, but I want to bring something entertaining and helpful, hopefully, and I think the best way to do that is for me to start this new series that I'm calling the Champedex, in honor of the Pokedex, if you know, if you've seen Pokemon. Okay, nerd stuff over, let's get into this. I'm going to explain what I'm doing here. Basically, I'm going to be going through some champions. I'll be explaining, hopefully, how to use them. I'll explain what is good about those characters, what's not so good, and we will do that while rating those abilities. I have here a list of different aspects of a character that I think are very important, and this is how we're going to compare and contrast different characters, and in the end there will be a final score, and we'll see where certain characters line up compared to the rest of the game. And I don't know what my obsession is with rating things, but I think rating things is pretty entertaining to see where a character lines up compared to everybody else. So it's pretty neat. The way that I'm going to be rating everything is on a scale of 3. So 0 will be when something is just terrible, horrible, you don't even want to have to deal with this. 1 will be when something is average, not so special, but still okay. 2 will be when something is good, above average, just pretty good. And then a 3 will be when something is, let's say, superb, amazing, super duper awesome. 3 is the best. So these categories add up to a total of 30 possible points for every character that I will be rating. No character should ever actually reach a 30 rating though. If any character ever gets a 30, they're overpowered, and the game probably won't be much fun with them in it. Every character should have flaws, and that's my goal here, is to tell you how to use a character, what's good about that character, what's bad about that character, and how that character compares to other characters, champions, that you can use in this game. So the last video that I made was a Ghost Rider video. I asked for people to leave comments about who I should do a video on next, and it was suggested that I should explain how Dr. Voodoo works. And I think that's really interesting now because Dr. Voodoo, in my opinion, is still a really good character, but in the way the game has been going, it doesn't seem like he has the same amount of use that he had back just the same time last year. We're going to be taking a look at Dr. Voodoo to try and figure out if it's still worth even putting your resources into him. Does he still have use in this game? I don't know. Let's go ahead and check this out. The first category here is damage, because when a new character comes out, pretty much everybody wants to know how much damage will this character do, how hard are they gonna hit, and can I use them to destroy everything in this game? So is damage actually the most important thing in this game? I don't know. I think it's one of the things that everybody pays attention to though, so it's the first category that I have here just for that purpose. How much damage does Dr. Voodoo do compared to everybody else in this game? His base attack really isn't anything that special. I've taken a look at a lot of my maxed out 4 stars here, and I found that for the most part, the base attack falls somewhere between 1200 and 1500 for most characters. So Dr. Voodoo is pretty average, and to be totally honest, it might even be a bit low. The thing about Dr. Voodoo though is his ability to poison characters gives him an extra edge in damage that is a bit heavier than just a normal character who punches and hits their way to victory. At the same time, Dr. Voodoo's poison doesn't do that much damage. He's not actually a character you would take into the Labyrinth of Legends and expect to solo the champions in that area of the game. The poisons can stack up though, so they do end up doing a lot of damage. He also has a power burn that helps out, adding some extra damage to his base attack as well. And for those reasons, I rate his damage at level 2. So that puts 2 points on the scoreboard for Dr. Voodoo, and we move on to the next category, which I think is very important. It's sustainability. How long can this character fight, and does he have any abilities that allows him to be able to fight for a longer period of time? And when it comes to Dr. Voodoo, the answer is yes, he's a good sustainable champion. At the beginning of every fight, if you'll take a look at Dr. Voodoo's abilities here, he actually starts with a 100% chance to regenerate a certain amount of health over 10 seconds, and this amount of health ends up being about 25% of his overall health. So this, I would say, puts him above just the average of characters, which is no regen at all. So while it is helpful when you're questing to be able to get a little bit of health back, it'll save you some potions, it'll let you fight just a little bit longer, it's not incredibly helpful in longer fights where you might be taking some damage and you need to heal up, but he doesn't have a regen to back you up. And along with this regen, there is a little bit extra. He gets extra energy resist whenever he's blocking, so that's nice against characters like, say, Doctor Strange, maybe Magneto. Anybody who uses energy attacks will be doing a lot less damage to you when you're blocking, which it adds like a little bit of sustainability. So I give Dr. Voodoo's sustainability a level 2 as well. That puts his total score at 4 now, and we move on to the next category, which is power control. And guess what? Dr. Voodoo is an amazing power control champion. This, in my opinion, is where Dr. Voodoo has his greatest utility. He is a power control champion. Let me explain how exactly he works. This is probably gonna be the bulk of the video, because this is what Dr. Voodoo does. See, all of your attacks with Dr. Voodoo have a 10% chance to place this debuff under your opponent's health bar here called a Loa. A Loa actually has no effect on your opponent at all until you do something to activate that Loa. So with the special 2, this is how you're going to be power controlling people, and oh boy, it is so amazing. It's friggin' fantastic. Let's talk about this. Part of what makes Dr. Voodoo a complicated character is that you have to pay so much attention to the current combo that you are in. If you are in an even combo, meaning the combo ends in a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0, you are in an even combo when you activate a special. If you are in an odd combo, same thing. It does something different from the even combo. So you have to pay attention to what combo you're at, and when you activate that special, whatever number it's at determines whether it's an even or an odd combo. When using a special 2 on an even combo, Voodoo gains a 50% chance when he's unawakened, a 100% chance though when he is awakened, to burn a certain amount of his opponent's power whenever he attacks into them. It will also convert this power into energy damage, which you will deal as power burn, as you can see here, and this whole thing lasts for 15 seconds. So you definitely want to get the opponent to 3 Loas and then throw that special 2 on an even combo. You will be taking away more power than they will be gaining, and that is what makes Voodoo a super good power control champion. But that's not even it. If you want to do something else, you can throw the special 2 on an odd combo, and this will just leak a certain amount of the opponent's power over, I believe it's 10 seconds? And not only that, but you can also use the special 3, which has a 100% chance of applying Power Leech to the target, and it steals a certain amount of their power over a certain amount of time. Hopefully that makes sense to you. That is how you will be using Dr. Voodoo to power control characters. That's how he works, and because of how good this is, he gets a 3. Level 3 for power control, which puts his total score at 7, and we move on to the next category, which is the awakened ability. I was a little bit cautious to choose this as one of the abilities that I rate because some characters don't need to be awakened to be good, but I think an awakened ability is just like another ability a character has, which just adds to their utility, and I think it deserves to be rated as much as anything else. Dr. Voodoo's awakened ability is so good. It changes the character. It turns him from something that would be average or okay into something incredibly amazing and reliable. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Dr. Voodoo's awakened ability is called Brother Daniel. What it is basically a buff that he puts on himself or a debuff on the opponent, and he can control which way this goes. So if he does a special attack on an even combo, he puts Brother Daniel as a buff onto himself. If he uses a special on an odd combo, he puts Brother Daniel as a debuff on his opponent. So when Dr. Voodoo has Brother Daniel, he gains 100% increased ability accuracy, and he also gains a bit of increased buff duration as well. And this is probably where you want to have Brother Daniel at most times during any matchup you're in. This is what allows you on a Special 2 and a Special 1 as well to have a 100% chance to activate the lowest that you have on your opponent. On the Special 1, it'll allow you to convert all of the buffs that your opponent has, as well as the Loas, into poisons. On the Special 2, you have a 100% chance to get that power control on your opponent. So having the even combo on yourself, the Brother Daniel on Dr. Voodoo, very, very helpful. As far as the opponent goes, when the opponent has Brother Daniel, they have 50% decreased ability accuracy and also a bit of increased debuff duration as well. So this would probably be good for fighting characters such as Magic, or somebody else where you just don't want to activate an ability that they have that may be a nuisance. He has 50% ability accuracy reduction on that opponent when they have Brother Daniel on them, but I would say for the most part, when I use Dr. Voodoo at least, I try to keep an even combo on him because he just becomes so much better when he has full control over his abilities, and he can nullify all buffs, he can put poisons on the opponent, and he can power control them like there's no tomorrow. So as far as the awakened ability goes, for Dr. Voodoo, I give it a level 3. Which puts his total score now at 10, and we move on to the next category, which is just a category that I call other utility for anything that damage, sustainability, and power control do not cover. So as far as Dr. Voodoo goes, he does have a bit of utility, and that utility, in my opinion, is that he can nullify any buffs that the opponent has when he's awakened, and he has Loa. He can poison an opponent, he can nullify their buffs. It's pretty great. If you want to take a look here, here's a fight with Howard the Duck, and this is what it looks like when you nullify his buffs and turn them into poisons. Pretty cool, right? I would say that this is a pretty special ability, and the way that you control this is by using the Special 1 when you have an even combo, and if he's awakened, you have a 100% chance. If he's unawakened, you have a 50% chance. You will convert your opponent's buffs, as well as your lowest that you have on the opponent, into poison, and just pretty much destroy their world. It's awesome. So compared to other characters in this game, as far as having utility goes, I believe this is a pretty good aspect to the character. It's nothing like too crazy, but it is something nice to have around, and for that reason, I give Dr. Voodoo a level 2 rating for his utility, which brings his total score to 12 now. And we move on to the next category, kind of moving quicker here. I don't want this video to be an hour long. Maybe 10 minutes will be okay, 10 to 20 we'll cover it. Hopefully it's not too long because I want to keep this entertaining. So let's move on to synergies, which for a lot of characters that are being added to the game now, I have become a new aspect to those characters. As far as Dr. Voodoo goes, the synergies that he has are nothing special. He's got something with Winter Soldier, Guillotine, Doctor Strange, and Rogue, and there's really nothing that crazy here. He's got critical damage, critical rating, armor rating, perfect block chance. Nothing special. Compared to other characters in this game, I would say this is pretty average, and for that reason he gets a level 1 rating. His first level 1 of this whole entire thing. He's a good character. I think you can see that now. That brings his score up to 13, and we move on to his use in AQ. Alliance Quest. And as far as Dr. Voodoo goes for Alliance Quest, I say he's a viable option to use. Now that Sentinels have been added to the game, he's not quite as useful as he may have once been. He's not able to poison Sentinels, and that's not a problem for people who run map 6 or something, but for people who run map 5 and below, whenever you're fighting a Sentinel, it's nice to have somebody who can deal a bit of damage, and poison is a part of Dr. Voodoo's damage. He can still handle it though, he can still take them down, he can still power control pretty well, and beyond that, he's also got a bit of sustainability too in his 25% regen that you will be getting in every single fight that you take him into. So, with his power control, his regen, and his ability to nullify buffs, turn them into poisons on characters that are not poison immune, I would say Dr. Voodoo is a level 2 character to use in AQ. He's good. He's definitely good. He is not the best, though. He is a 2. And that brings his score up to 15, and we move on to his use in Alliance War Offense, which, as of late, I've not seen a lot of Dr. Voodoo's being used on offense. Is he still good? That remains a question to be seen. So let's go ahead and just refresh what we've said about Dr. Voodoo before. He is an amazing power control champion. He has a bit of control over characters' buffs. He can poison characters that aren't poison immune. He's got that sustainability. He's got the regen, the 25% you'll be getting before every fight. and he can even decrease opponent's ability accuracy when he puts Brother Daniel onto his opponent when he's awakened. So with all of this utility, is he a good enough champion to take into Alliance War to use on attack? I would say he's definitely a level 2 champion to use on Alliance War offense. That brings his score up to 17, and we move on to his use as a defender in Alliance War. Let's take a quick look at this. What would make Dr. Voodoo a good defender? Well, if you happen to have buffs on you, he's awakened, you can maybe scrub up a bit and get hit with a special attack that can do some damage. But for the most part, his specials are easy to dodge. He doesn't have any abilities that can't easily be controlled with a bit of skill in this game. And for that reason, I say he's a pretty average defender. I give him a level 1 rating. That takes his score up to 18. And we move on to the final category here, which is his use in general questing in this game. Just for any quest you would take him into, how good is he? And for general questing, I've got to say, Dr. Voodoo is possibly one of the best characters that you can take into any quest. Well, not quite any quest, but for the most part, you will find a use for him. His ability to be a power control champion, a poison champion, a nullify champion, he can do damage, he's got the sustainability, he's got so much utility that can be used in a lot of these fights. And for that reason, I give him a level 3 rating as a champion that you can use in general whenever you go into a quest. And that takes his final score up to 21. Alright, so we've made it to the end here. What does this score mean? 21 out of 30. How good is this actually? Well, that kind of remains to be seen because Dr. Voodoo is the first character that I've ever rated like this before. Currently in my mind though, I would like to give him a bit of a rating, and if you've ever seen the anime One Punch Man, I don't know why I like it so much, I really enjoy it, but in One Punch Man there are different classes where heroes are rated at. There's a C level class, that's the lowest, there's B, A, and then an S class hero, which are the top of the top people who can pretty much save the planet whenever they want. So as far as these champions go, I'm going to be rating them on this same scale. Okay, well that's me nerding out a bit. Let's go ahead and put this in terms of MCLC. I would say a C-class champion on this rating scale would probably be somebody that you would take to rank 3 as a 4-star. They're just, you're never going to use them. They're just arena fodder, kind of trash, but yeah, you leave them, you forget about them. And we move on to B-class heroes, which I would say are okay champions. They are people you could take maybe to rank 4 as a 4-star comfortably, possibly rank 5 if you need to, but I'd say rank 4, possibly, and as a 5-star, maybe you could take them to rank 3. You probably want to just keep them at rank 3 or rank 3 as a 4-star and rank 2 as a 5-star, but you could rank them up if you needed to. As far as A-class heroes go, these guys are where it gets better. They start to have more abilities, they're better at fighting, you can use them easier, and they'll do more work for you. As far as these champions go, I would say their potential rank 4 as 5 stars. You can potentially take up these characters, is what I'm trying to say. And as far as 4 stars go, they're definitely a rank 5 option, I would say. And then you have the S-class here, which is the top of the top. Not a lot of characters are going to hit this mark. S-class heroes are people that you could fairly comfortably take up to rank 5 as a 5-star. Like, no pressure. Take them up to rank 4 as a 5-star? Heck yes. So since nobody on this rating scale should actually reach a 30, we have to look at this more in terms of where the average is going to be. And since Dr. Voodoo is the first character that we've done here, I'm going to have to do a little bit of guesswork, but I'm going to draw some lines. I may change them in the future, but here's what I'll say. For now, any character with a rating of 20 or above is an S-class hero. The ones below that are going to get a little bit thinner just because you kind of gotta draw a little bit of boundaries. So I'll say any character that is rated, say, 17 to 19 is an A-class hero. Any character rated 13 to 16 is a B-class hero, and anything below a 12, I believe, is going to be a C-class hero, and that's where we'll draw the line for now. I may change it, I don't know. We'll see. That means that Dr. Voodoo is an S-class champion. On top of the top. Very good. So to answer my question from earlier, is Dr. Voodoo still good in this game? Does he still have use? I would say yes. In terms of Alliance War, he doesn't quite have as much use, and since the game is so focused on Alliance War right now, he's a little bit forgotten about, but I would say he is still an amazing character to have. If you manage to pull him, to awaken him, he will do you so much good, and I would suggest highly ranking him and throwing some resources into his body. And on that note, we are going to go ahead and post Dr. Voodoo onto this little scoreboard here. It's a little empty right now. He may be a little bit lonely, but hopefully we'll be adding characters to this in the future. If there's any character you want to see in particular, you go ahead and leave me a comment down below, and I will do my best to get to as many people as possible, because I think this is a lot of fun. I think rating people is fun, seeing how good characters are. It's fun, dude. It's super fun. Here's a sneak peek of who I will be making a video about next. See if you can go ahead and guess that.
Who's that champion? It's Luke Cage!
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for coming here today. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope this is something I can keep up. But thank you all for coming here, for watching to the end here. You are amazing. I'd be honored if you would like this video and maybe subscribe to my channel for future videos like this. But until I see you next, guys, hang in there. May the RNG be with you. And goodbye.